Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here today. We're about to dive into a fascinating topic. What is offered for free is dangerous. We'll explore why things that seem free can sometimes come with hidden costs. We'll touch on the concept of despising the free lunch and look into Law 40, which sheds light on this idea. Over the next few slides, we'll uncover the risks and truths behind free offers and how to navigate them wisely. So let's get started. What is offered for free is often a trap. It may seem appealing at first, but usually there's a trick behind it or a hidden obligation that you'll have to deal with later. It's important to remember that what has real worth, whether it's relationships, opportunities, or resources, is something you should pay for. Paying your own way not only ensures you maintain your independence, but it also helps you avoid feelings of guilt or the temptation of deceit. When you invest your own resources, you keep your integrity intact. Furthermore, being generous with your money is a powerful move. When you circulate your wealth, you're not just spending, you're creating a flow that can attract more power and opportunities. Generosity acts as a magnet. It draws in influence and respect. So, in essence, the key takeaway here is to be mindful of what you accept for free, value what truly has worth, and remember that the act of giving and circulating wealth is a fundamental part of gaining and maintaining power. Let's talk about the trap of free. When you pay full price for something, it actually gives you a certain kind of power. It signals that you're willing to invest in quality, and it frees you from any sense of obligation. It also commands respect from others because you're demonstrating confidence and independence. Paying full price can even be a way to show that you're wealthy enough not to need charity, which in turn bolsters your self-image and your position in social settings. Now here's the catch with the so-called free lunch. Nothing is truly free. Whenever you accept something without paying, there are often strings attached, guilt, obligation, or a kind of psychological debt. You might not realize it at first, but accepting free offers can chip away at your independence. It creates a subtle expectation that you owe something in return, even if it's just gratitude or loyalty. And that leads us into the idea of hidden costs. These costs aren't always obvious up front. They can be emotional, mental, or even relational. The real takeaway here is that nothing comes without a price, sometimes more than we initially see. Recognizing these hidden costs helps us make smarter, more intentional decisions about what we accept and what we pay for, ultimately aligning our choices with our true values and independence. So, how did Pietro Aretino achieve such legendary status? Well, he was not afraid to give everything away. Whenever wealthy patrons offered him money, instead of hoarding it, he spent it lavishly or used it to help the poor. This kind of generosity truly set him apart and made him a legend in his own right. It wasn't just about the money. It was about the influence he gained through his actions. You see, his generosity bought him a kind of power that money alone couldn't buy. Princes, for example, might have feared his sharp tongue, but they also admired his spirit, his magnificent spirit, as some called it. They showered him with more gifts, knowing he was a man of influence and charisma. What's really fascinating is how someone like Pietro Aretino, coming from humble beginnings, being the son of a shoemaker, could live like a king. His life is a perfect example of how reputation, generosity, and personality can elevate someone far beyond their origins. And this ties into our overall theme of how influence and charisma can shape history, regardless of social background. When a miser stops the flow of money, it's not just about saving, it's about the broader consequences. They tend to alienate friends and allies because their obsession with petty savings can create distance and mistrust. It's like they're so focused on every little penny that they miss the bigger picture. This fixation often leads to missing out on grand opportunities, those big, beneficial ventures or relationships that could really make a difference. Instead of investing in growth or generosity, they're stuck cutting corners, what I like to call free lunches. These shortcuts might seem like saving now, but they often end up costing a fortune later through poor quality, missed opportunities, or damage to their reputation. The core issue here is that hoarding money gives a false sense of security. Many believe that having a lot of money stored away guarantees safety. But in reality, what it really does is create isolation. It keeps them from building meaningful connections and enjoying the support network that true security offers. So, in terms of the overall theme, this behavior highlights how greed and miserliness aren't just about money. They can lead to social and personal costs that outweigh any short-term savings. It's a cautionary tale about the importance of balance and the dangers of letting money dominate our relationships and outlook. Let's talk about the keys to power on this slide. First, do not bargain for excellence. When you pay full price, it signals confidence and quality. It shows you're secure in your value and not desperate to negotiate. Bargaining, in contrast, can come across as petty or insecure, which weakens your position. Next, paying the full price can actually be a strategic move. Use gifts to disarm enemies or to buy loyalty. A well-timed gift can be more effective than a confrontation, often costing less and creating a stronger bond. It's about using generosity as a tool to influence others. Which brings us to the idea of strategic generosity. Money, like water, needs to flow to stay fresh. If you hoard wealth or resources, stagnation sets in and your influence can fade. Instead, spend strategically on relationships, opportunities, or influence to keep things moving in your favor. So the overarching theme here is circulation. Keep resources flowing, keep relationships active, and use these principles to maintain and grow your power. It's about understanding that power is dynamic, and managing that flow is essential to staying strong. Reversal, the power of the gift. Generosity really is a weapon, and it can be used strategically. Think of it as a tool to soften hard hearts and open closed doors that might otherwise stay shut. But here's the twist: offering things for free can actually be a way to entrap others in obligation. It's important to recognize that sometimes you want to be the one who sets the trap, not the one who ends up eating the cheese. While many of us might despise the idea of a free lunch, in this context, it's actually a powerful tactic to leverage against others. Using the free lunch isn't about kindness alone. It's about understanding how influence works. When you offer something for free, it creates a sense of obligation or reciprocity in the other person. And that's where the real power lies. If you control the timing and the situation, you can guide the outcome to your advantage. So, it's not just about being generous, but about being strategic and aware of the psychological dynamics at play. That's how the gift becomes a true source of influence, fitting into the overall theme of mastering influence and persuasion.